Hello, hello, we are live. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. My name is Frank Kramer. I'm your host and I'm the founder of Eat Like a Vegan Chef. Welcome again. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about we are what we eat. And I don't mean this in any negative way whatsoever. I just like to give the viewer or the listener my point of view. And it's simply a way for me to tell my version of what I'm passionate about, and I integrate this in everything I do, um, whether this is in my Eat Like a Vegan Chef membership or whether that's in anything I do. I try to implement this type of view because I believe it makes or breaks us. Um, so that being said, if you don't mind introducing yourself, if you're listening, just say hi so I know you're there. It's always nice to talk to an audience instead of just a number there. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And today I'm talking about um, we are what we eat. And I'm going to go into a few details, so to speak, in how to address this, how to improve our lifestyle, um, how to improve our health through food. And all the way towards the end, I will uh, introduce my next masterclass, which is, of course, about food. And I hope you will join me there. So I will, but that I will address later. So hello, everyone. Um, Today, I'd like to talk about the food we eat. And the food we eat has a big impact on our health and on our planet. And as you know me, I'm very passionate when it comes to that. It is, these are one of the reasons why I became a vegan. Obviously, the animals, and there's many other parts as well. But our planet is one of the biggest reasons why I became a vegan, and of course my health too. But by studying and by reading more and more books about sustainability and how to improve um, our health and the health of our planet, we really have to address what we eat. And I'm not here to lecture you. That's the last thing I want to do. I am here to inspire. I'm here to tell you my version of what I think um, we should be eating. And again, it is entirely up to you. I'm not, again, I hate lecturing. It's just simply inspiring other people what we can do, because in the end, if we if we all do what we want to do, then we have no regard for our planet. And if we don't have no regard for our planet, we have no regards for those yet to come. And I'm talking about my children's, your children, and everyone else who comes after us. Because I firmly believe that we should leave this planet the way we found it, because we had the pleasure of enjoying everything this planet has to give us. And I want my children to have the same. Obviously, there are other nations in this world who are not as fortunate as us, but by addressing all these little um, points, we can all make life on Earth better for everyone. That's what I think. Um, Let's say hello. Hi, Janine. Hi, Linda. Hi, Karen. Hi, Viva. If you don't mind introducing yourself or just say hello, then I know you're there. Thank you so much. And let's move on. Okay, so today we're going to talk about uh, we are what we eat. And again, I mean this not in a negative way. I mean this just in a simple way that um, by the way we eat, we care about our health and our planet, or we don't. And so I'm going to talk uh, about our eating culture and how we have gotten here, and how to address those things. So we are increasingly seduced, more or less, by takeout, frozen dinners, pre-packaged foods, and it's this phenomenon that our fast food culture brings with us. And it's the cheapness, the availability, the speed that you get your food now is just unbelievable. You can go to your phone, you can go to an app, and you order your food, and your food is there in 20 minutes. So it's just absolutely incredible how fast we can get our food. But later, I'm going to tell you that these fast food choices have a detrimental effect not only on our health, but also on our planet. It's absolutely incredible. And I firmly believe that as a chef, I have always been exposed to food where it came from, to get to know the farmers, to get to know the distributors, and everywhere where where the food is being handled, to know where it's coming from. So I think it's important that everyone should know where the food is coming from, where the food is produced, and by whom, and to to learn to enjoy the food you buy from the sources you have chosen. I think this is very important because if we don't do this, we have no disregard for our food. So then basically we could take a pill, and that's the end of the day. But we are not there yet, so we don't have a choice of taking a pill. There's no such thing yet, and I don't think I would enjoy it anyway. But I think it's very important to uh, be aware of our food choices. So, for instance, and most of you know that already, and I'll try to mention this as often as I can. When we go in a supermarket, let's say we're in the middle of a winter in New York City, I go in a supermarket and I see beautiful red tomatoes. I'm drawn to them, obviously. Oh, beautiful. And I would love to buy those. But then again, I know where the food is coming from, knowing that New York City cannot produce tomatoes in the winter, unless it's grown somewhere in a greenhouse. But other than that, it's not possible. So where's it coming from? Florida or California, Mexico? Being on a truck for the last 3-4 days, those foods have a huge carbon footprint. But that's not all. Because those foods have been on the roads for so long, I'm not talking only about tomatoes. It could be strawberries in the middle of the winter. It could be any type of food that is just not in season, has been traveled on a truck for a long time. The nutrients of those foods are diminished. They're not there the way they were when you pick them. And that's simply I'm trying to say. If you want nutritional food, eat food that's in season, and that's a simple rule, so to speak, by to go by, um, because if we eat the foods that have been brought to us, you support this huge global carbon footprint, which we can avoid. So from that point of view, I think when we go in a supermarket, it's always good to look at the label. Where's the food from? Where was it shipped? And how long? You can tell about how long a food has been on the road, and it's quite a while. If it came from 3,000 miles ago, you can put one and one together. The truck takes you 4 days to get there, and then it was on a farm, then it's on a supermarket, and then especially when you see foods in the supermarket being offered cheaper. And then if those foods were shipped from a different location, thousands of miles away, you know that food is no longer nutritious. And that's the unfortunate part. And that's why I'm trying to say we are what we eat. And if you eat foods that are not nutritional sound anymore, you're not doing yourself a favor. The best way to go about is go to your farmer's market. Obviously, in the winter, that's difficult, but you can put one and one together. You can check the labels, see where the food is from. It could be from somewhere close by, for instance, even if it's a few hundred miles from your city. That's better than 3,000 miles. But if you go to the farmer's market, you know these foods are in season. Even if you go towards all the way October, November, there are still some farmers market out there because we still have kale, we still have cabbage. There's a lot of stuff still growing, and they're super nutritious. You don't have to have tomatoes with every meal. You really don't. You can go with frozen foods, for instance, or you can go with foods that are canned. Not that I promote them, but if you have to have your tomatoes, get a can of tomatoes. They were uh, taken when they were in season and then canned. But that's not all what I'm talking about here. Let me just say hello here to everyone. Hi, Stacy. Welcome back. Hi, Mary. Hi, Georgian. Let's see what the comments are here. Hello. Thank you for these lives. I'm embracing the whole food plant-based lifestyle. However, I'm wondering if a small amount of olive oil or vegan butter, cheeses be significant impact on my health. Small amount, probably not. You can up to 5% of your calorie intake. It shouldn't be an issue. But then again, if you eat or you're eating vegan butter or vegan cheeses, just keep in mind that those vegan butter, vegan cheeses, they have close to zero nutrition. There's only fat in there, and it's not really beneficial to you. Um, I would, to me, you're trying to, and don't get me wrong, you're trying to hang on to the Western diet. The Western diet is all about, cheese and butter and all this stuff, the French style of living. And I understand this. It's beautiful. It's delicious. But once you transition to a whole food plant-based lifestyle completely, you're not going to miss those foods any longer. I mean, believe me, I've been trained in classic French cuisine. If one loves French cuisine, it was me. I loved everything about the French cuisine, whether it was meat, fish, seafood, chicken, anything. It doesn't matter. I loved it. Cream, butter, cheese. Oh my goodness, I would eat that stuff every day. But I don't do it any longer because I don't crave it anymore. Um, so that's my take on it. I don't think it's you will miss it either. Um, okay. Hi, Mary. Good. I'm glad you thought about this. You learned something of this. That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, Pamela. Good. Good. Okay. So I just wanted to give you what I'm going to reveal now is, for some of you, you probably know it already, but then I would say for the majority of people, this is a complete eye-opener. So, and um, this is the point where I want to come to. I talk about water and the water footprint of food. And when we order food, let's say with Uber or whoever it is, and we get food from any fast food restaurant, we don't realize what the water footprint is of that food. And it's going to blow you away when you hear some of the water footprint of certain foods. And it's in particular fast foods. So when we think about water, 70% of our planet is covered with water, but that water is not drinkable. At least we don't have the technology to, make this water drinkable in the quantities we needed. So only 3% of the world's water is literally fresh water, and 2% of that is either frozen or on a mountain somewhere. So we cannot get to it. So only 1% of fresh water is available. 1% of all the water on Earth is available to us. So, and when you hear that 1.1 billion people in the world don't have proper access to water, and 2.7 billion people have a water shortage at least once a month. This is crazy. For 2.4 billion people, they have sanitation problems. They don't have proper toilets, and they don't have water to wash or to cook with, and they suffer from cholera, from waterborne illnesses, and those things. It's just absolutely incredible. The unfortunate part is that many of our rivers are drying out. The Colorado River, for the first time in history, has been government had said we have a drought, because when you have seen recent pictures of the Colorado River, it's 1/3 less in there, because they call it the bathtub ring, and it's like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 feet what's missing in the Colorado River. Just absolutely incredible. And then the other day I saw a documentary. The Colorado River was actually, it's going through California and it goes into Mexico. And Mexico doesn't get any more water. It's completely dried out there. So it's absolutely incredible. Okay, so when it comes to that, food has one of the biggest water footprint of all, and is, when I tell you agriculture, 70% is being used for agriculture. And agriculture, guess what? Probably 50% of that is being used for animal feed, not even for us. So I'm not saying that we gotta stop livestock and all this stuff. I mean, all these farmers need to live, and they all have to make a living. But then again, we have a choice to eat foods that are good for us. And for instance, I want to give you a little example here. For instance, when you take your kids, for instance, you go to McDonald's and you said, okay, I'm going to treat my kids. Let's have a little burger. Okay, what is a burger? Okay, one burger includes bread, meat, lettuce, and tomato. Cost you 660 gallons of water. Just one burger, and you're not even full from that. And then you add a 17-ounce soda, that adds 46 gallons of water. So just imagine when we used to drink soda. I don't drink soda. I used to drink soda, and I never thought of it. So one big glass, is 46 gallons of water to produce this one um, glass of soda. Just unbelievable. Your Sunday morning breakfast, you have your piece of ham, that's 135 gallons of water. You have um, two eggs, 104 gallons of water to produce those two eggs. It sounds absolutely incredible. Then you have your 1 cup of coffee, 34 gallons of water. 1 cup of coffee, 34 gallons of water is needed to produce that 1 cup of coffee. We have to let this sink in. Do I really need my coffee? So every time I make 4 cups of coffee, because I used to drink 3 cups of water easily, sorry, coffee. So that means I'm taking a water footprint of 112 gallons of water just for my coffee alone. This is crazy. I could have a I could have tea, which I'm sure has a lot less water footprint to produce. It has a water footprint, obviously, but there are definitely ways to bring the water footprint down. And I think then for dinner, let me just go ahead. For dinner, we have a glass of wine, 34 gallons of water to produce this one glass of wine. We have a salad with tomato, lettuce, cucumbers. That's another 21 gallons. So I'm not saying that you should be having a salad, absolutely. But if you compare your salad with 21 gallons with your hamburger, 660 gallons, how many salads can you have for that one burger? And you eat so much healthier. Isn't that absolutely incredible? I just want to let this sink in. This is absolutely incredible, and I think the way we live, or the way I live, or I used to live, was completely unsustainable. I try my best to. I'm not perfect. Obviously I have things like this here and there, absolutely, but I think we can all make uh, a conscious decision of saying, okay, at least once a week, I'm not going to have meat, or at least once or twice a week, I don't have coffee, or certain things. You save a lot of water this way. If we all do this, we have a significant impact on our water footprint. And as it is, right now we are 7.3 billion people on the planet, and we consume 1.6 times the amount of our natural resources can supply. 1.6. So we are already zero point 0.6 over of what we produce. And by 2050, we're going to be at 9 billion at least. And there will, as the news say, the demand for food will be double. And that's absolutely crazy. So now you probably say, okay, how can we change this? What can we do? Obviously, through the choices we make with our food, definitely. But there are other ways to save on this, and that is our food waste. We waste about 1.3, I think it's billion. I have it here somewhere. It's an absolute incredible amount. Yeah, 1.3 billion tons of food are wasted each year. 1.3 billion tons, and I don't say that an individual person can contribute to it. You may, yes, you if you focus on what you eat and you don't throw away food, absolutely. But I think it's also the way our system is rigged. And that's where I think the government has to come in and say, that those foods are being used for something else. I think now there are certain restaurant chains who have this implemented. When there's food left over, they give it to the food banks, and that should be done. That should be done all across the world or all across the states. That anywhere in any restaurant chain and any hotels and all these big corporations, they have food left over by the end of the night. That should be donated to the food bank so that people who don't have food can get food. As it is, they are those 1.3 billion tons of food is actually enough to feed the entire world, or not the entire world, but it's enough to feed everyone who's hungry on this planet. So it's basically a distribution problem what we have, and I think I guess that's too much for the individual person. But I just wanted to give you a little little insight of what's going on there. And I think with the food waste, yes, we can do our part, but the biggest part is when it comes to our big corporations, and that's where you come in. If you go to the farmers market, you make sure that you eat food that are in season. And by doing so, you actually support the small farmer, the farmer who is responsible. Not saying that other farmers are not responsible, but you do your part to being responsible for your water footprint. And if we would all do that, guess what? The supermarkets wouldn't bring in food from 3,000 miles away. They wouldn't. It would be sold somewhere else. And I think this is where we all need to jump in. And it's not that difficult. Okay, let's see. Hi, Majori. That's so nice, Georgian. That's great. Thank you. I just gave up those eggshells. Cool. Nice. Um, okay. Hi, Susan. Hi, Linda. Hi, Stacy. Cool. Yes, absolutely. I'm reading the comments here. Um, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's basically my 2 cents when it comes to um, water footprint. There's so much more to talk about. I think we have our first city in South Africa who declared water shortage. I'm not sure if it was Johannesburg, but they literally shut off their water supply, and people now have to go to public water sources, and the water is rationed. So you can only get a certain amount of water. And they said within the next 25 years, um, every country on earth will experience this. Every country. And this is it's very sad. And I don't think it has to come this way. If we all make a choice of where our food comes from, I think we can make a big difference in this. It may be small, maybe very, very small. Um, it does make a difference. You see, for instance, um, instead of showering 40 minutes in a shower every morning, which may be just, I don't know, 10 gallons, you waste more water by ordering a burger. You literally waste more water. But again, we can all make a difference. Instead of showering 40 minutes, 10 minutes. It's we can all make a choice there, because the reason why we don't make a choice is because we don't know or we don't feel it's necessary. But when you can research it online. Just put in water shortage, and there's so much online. There's a great documentary on water on Netflix. Um, the same with our grounds. I could go on with, when it comes to fertility and pesticides and fertilizer when it comes to our grounds, which which eventually affects the crop growing on it. And that's another topic for another day. But I think if we can address those little food choices we make, we can be healthier. We can um, achieve a lower water footprint, and we all benefit from it. Okay, that said, I'm offering a masterclass next week, which is about the 4 best foods for great health. That's next week, Wednesday, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll put a link here. Members who are, if you're a member at Eat Like a Vegan Chef, you will have access to it. I will send you a separate email. You get access to the challenge, to everything. So you don't have to worry about. If you're not a member, you're welcome. It's free. The masterclass is free. The challenge is free. It's a combo. So basically, on Wednesday we talk about those 4 food/groups, and in our challenge, we utilize the knowledge we gained through that in that masterclass, and you literally test it out in the challenge, and I guarantee you feel awesome. After the challenge, we have a celebration. We talk about how good we feel, what has improved, and it's going to be an awesome experience. I can promise you that. That's why I created this masterclass/challenge combo. So you can utilize that knowledge you learned in a masterclass in the challenge. I've never done this before. This is the first time I do this, and I think it's going to be a game changer because I'm giving you so much knowledge, especially for those who are not 100% familiar with a holistic plant-based lifestyle. You will learn a lot. Okay, again, there's a link here. You can register for this class. It's there's a limit as to how many people I can get into the challenge. So please register early so you get your reserve your spot. And yeah, I hope I'll see you next week in a masterclass. And I would say be safe and think plant-based. I'll talk to you next week.